Hi everyone, so today's video is for Jesse Tree video number 4, and we have a rainbow. As you know, was God's promise to Noah, and this will come from Genesis 6, 5 through 20, 7, 1 through 23, 8, 1 through 17, and 9, 1 through 13. So let's get started. We have a lot to discuss. I also wonder, what was Noah thinking? Was he afraid? Was he curious as to why God called him? Was he open to God's call? I think these are all great questions we must ask ourselves. Because I definitely do. Let's get started. Genesis 5 through 20. Genesis 5. Genesis 6, 5 through 20. When the Lord God saw the extent of human wickedness, and that the tread and direction of men's lives were only towards evil, he was sorry he had made them. It broke his heart. And he said, I will blot out from the face of the earth all mankind that I created, yes, and the animals too, and the reptiles and the birds, for I am sorry I made them. But Noah was a pleasure to the Lord. Here is the story of Noah. He was the only truly righteous man living on the earth at that time, and tried always to conduct his affairs according to God's will. And he had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Meanwhile, the crime rate was rising rapidly across the earth, and as seen by God, the world was rotten to the core. As God observed how bad it was, and saw that all mankind was vicious and depraved, he said to Noah, I have decided to destroy all mankind, for the earth is filled with crime because of man. Yes, I will destroy mankind from the earth. Make a boat from resinous wood, sealing it with tar, and construct decks and stalls throughout the ship. Make it 400 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Construct a skylight all the way around the ship, 18 inches below the roof. Make 3 decks inside the boat, a bottom, middle, and upper deck, and put a door on the side. Look, I am going to cover the earth with a flood and destroy every living being, everything in which there is the breath of life. All will die, but I promise to keep you safe in the ship with your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring a pair of every animal, a male and a female, into the boat with you to keep them alive through the flood. Bring in a pair of each kind of bird and animal and reptile. Store away in the boat all the food that they and you will need. And Noah did everything as God commanded him. Genesis 7, 1 through 23. Finally the day came when the Lord said to Noah, Go into the boat with all your family, for among all the people of the earth I consider you alone to be righteous. Bring in the animals too, a pair of each except those kinds I have chosen for eating and for sacrifice. Take 7 pairs of each of them, and 7 pairs of every kind of bird. Thus there will be every kind of life reproducing again after the flood has ended. 1 week from today I will begin 40 days and 40 nights of rain, and all the animals and birds and reptiles I have made will die. So Noah did everything the Lord commanded him. He was 600 years old when the flood came. He boarded the boat with his wife and sons and their wives to escape the flood, with whom were all the various kinds of animals, those who were eating and sacrifice, and those were not, and those that were not, and the birds and reptiles. There came into the boat in pairs, male and female, just as God commanded Noah. 1 week later, when Noah was 600 years, 2 months, and 17 days old, the rain came down in mighty torrents from the sky, and the subterranean waters burst forth upon the earth for 40 days and nights. But Noah had gone into the boat that very day with his wife and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives. With them in the boat were pairs of every kind of animal, domestic and wild, and reptiles and birds of every sort. 2 by 2 they came, male and female, just as God had commanded. Then the Lord God closed the door and shut them in. For 40 days the roaring floods prevailed, covering the ground and lifting the boat high above the earth. As the water rose higher and higher above the ground, the boat floated safely upon it, until finally the water covered all the high mountains upon the whole heaven, standing 22 feet high and more above the highest peaks. And all living things upon the earth perished, birds, domestic and wild animals, and reptiles, and all mankind, everything that breathed and lived upon dry land. All existed on the earth was blotted out. Man and animals alike, and reptiles and birds, God destroyed them all, leaving only Noah alive, and those with him in the boat. God didn't forget about Noah and all the animals in the boat. He sent a wind to blow across the waters, and the floods began to disappear, for the subterranean water sources ceased their gushing, and the torrential rains subsided. So the flood gradually receded until 150 days after it began, the boat came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. 3 months later, as the waters continued to go down, other mountain peaks appeared. After another 40 days, Noah opened a porthole and released a raven that flew back and forth until the earth was dry. Meanwhile, he sent out a dove to see if it could fly dry ground. But the dove found no place to light and returned to Noah, for the water was still too high. So Noah held onto his hand and drew the dove back into the boat. 7 days later, Noah released the dove again, and this time towards evening. The bird returned to him with an olive leaf in her beak. So Noah knew that water was almost gone. A week later, he released the dove again, and this time she didn't come back. 29 days after that, Noah opened the door to look, and the water was gone. 8 more weeks went by, then at last the earth was dry. Then God told Noah, "You may all go out, release all the animals, birds, and reptiles, so that they will breed abundantly and reproduce in great numbers." God blessed Noah and his sons and told them to have many children and to repopulate the earth. "All wild animals and birds and fish will be afraid of you," God told him, "for I have placed them in your power, and in that are yours to use for food, in addition to grain and vegetables. But never eat animals unless their lifeblood has been drained off, and murder is forbidden. Man killing animals must die, and any man who murders shall be killed. For to kill a man is to kill one man like God. Yes, have many children and repopulate the earth and subdue it." Then God told Noah and his sons, "I solemnly promise you and your children and the animals you brought with you, all these birds and cattle and wild animals, that I will never again send another flood to destroy the earth. And I seal this promise with this sign. I have placed my rainbow in the clouds as a sign of my promise until the end of time, to you and to all the earth." The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So, the promise. It's a rainbow. The clouds. Now I every time I see a rainbow, we had just a rainbow a couple years ago above our parish. And we don't get a lot of rain here in Vegas. Whenever I see that rainbow, you best believe that I remember Noah's promise. Because we have some gnarly floods sometimes when it rains. Like when they say it rains and pours. Sometimes here, when it rains, it really pours. So, but everyone have a blessed day. And I'm sorry this video is coming out really late. I haven't had the good nature to do any of these videos, so I'm really gonna jam them out for you guys. Have a great weekend, okay? God bless you.